I wish you were here with me right now because the air is so fragrant. And it is fragrant with the incredible scent of all these blossoms from my garden sage. It's just unbelievable. It's so sweet and very different than a perfume. It's just natural and wonderful and fragrant. And this plant has been covered with cute little pollinators all morning long. You see, when the sun hits the flowers of this plant, it releases the essential oil and the fragrance into the air, which is the messaging system for the plant to say to the little pollinators, come on over here. I think most of us are familiar with garden sage that we use particularly in the wintertime and around Thanksgiving at seasons dressings. I love to use fresh sage leaves, and I especially like it, for example, when there's just a little bit of warmth to the dish. For example, that pasta salad I mentioned so often, where I basically throw a handful of herbs onto just drained pasta with olive oil, maybe a little lemon juice and some garlic, and I toss it in, and the warmth releases the essential oil of the plant, and sage has a pretty strong flavor, so it mellows that a little bit with a little bit of heat. These leaves have a very, almost a light leathery texture to them, so they really hold their value, their flavor and essential oil for a long period of time. That also means that when you're drying it, sage leaves take much longer to dry than, say, mint leaves do. I encourage you to use them fresh. Of course, they can be dried for later use and put in a jar for winter. But let's talk about the flowers. This as a cut flower is fabulous, and it stays in a vase and looks pretty for several days. So you can use all these flowers for that. But let me tell you this, you can pluck these little purple flowers out, and they're beautiful. They, they look like a snapdragon a bit. And you can eat them, and they're delicious. And you know what's in them? A little bit of nectar, so there's a bit of sweetness in them. So whenever I'm out in the garden this time of year, I always pluck these and eat them. I don't think the bees mind. This plant looks beautiful now, but I want to answer the question, what do I do when the flowers fall off and the ends are just places where flowers used to be? It's not attractive, and it's the best thing to do for the plant is when that happens in a couple weeks from now, you just trim off, you sort of give the plant a haircut. And you trim off all the dead wands that are sticking up without flowers on them. And then what's going to happen is the leaves of the plant are going to really get bushy and full, and in another month or so they're going to be super for harvesting and really have a lot of flavor to them. So that's how you take care of this plant.